What's up guys, MainManSWE here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always, and today I want to do a little bit of a sit down here, face to face, and talk a little bit about the state of Tekken 8, but also our precious community, those of us who love Tekken. So about 2 weeks ago we got a disastrous patch for Tekken 8, you know, the latest Tekken game. A lot of problems, let's just say. We wanted more defense in our game. On a systematic level, they gave us that, you know, like significantly better sidesteps, and also less chip damage, a punish UI, stuff I really liked. But the developers could not help themselves, so to counteract the buff defense, they gave everyone homing +4 4-meter mids that blow you up and leave no room for counterplay whatsoever. On a Tekken Talk Live, the developers say, oh, here are the amazing new sidesteps, and 5 seconds later, oh, and here's King's homing giant swing. So it's a disaster, and you're like, what are you guys doing? And certainly we hope that they fix this, and the developers have deservedly so received quite a backlash from all of us, and we've said with constructive criticism, you know, please fix this. This is super bad. This game has no competitive integrity. But what has been more disturbing than this update to this video game we all like has been the downright, like, almost insane level of vitriol and just hate, like straight up hate I've seen online. And I almost don't recognize the Tekken community. For example, you know, on Tekken Reddit, it's like, it's absolutely fair to start a thread and making fun of like the developers, posting pictures of them and make fun of what they look like. Thousands of people making fun of their appearances, saying they have shit personalities, they're morons, like making it extremely personal. And this is okay. Like the moderators of Tekken Reddit, they don't remove this. This is fair game. I'm an old guy, I stay off social media, so maybe I'm not in touch with the internet, but to me it's like, do we want to normalize behavior like this? Shouldn't we focus on the game and criticize the game? And then, you know, TheDX, who I think has been sort of a treasure for the Tekken community, an amazing YouTuber who has, like, gotten significant popularity with Tekken 8, and rightfully so, like, his super analytical mind, his, you know, I just love listening to him, and he's always very level-headed in how he talks about the game. But the amount of hate I've seen go his way, and hate, I can't even understand it to 1%, to no degree, because I'm like, what exactly has he done? Or, you know, Boogard, whom you might not know about, but also a Tekken YouTuber who's done fairly well the last year or so, makes great videos. He plays Tekken 8 online on his stream, and now he gets death threats because he's a traitor who is playing the bad patch. Can you understand any of this? And, you know, and the accusations even coming from, like, pretty prominent Tekken streamers and YouTubers about TheDX being a shill, that he's a corrupt, malicious person who is paid by the big corporation, Bandai Namco, to lie about Tekken and to always be positive. You know, he sold himself. TheDX has no integrity. He's on the payroll and he lies. And prominent community members are spreading these ideas, and I see them everywhere. And it's, I don't know, maybe I'm out of touch, but I find it deeply disturbing, personally. And I just want to show you, I want to go to Twitter here. And the reason I'm making this video is, to be honest, due to some tweets that I've seen TheDX post. Like, for example, here, TheDX says, should I be worried about being prepared at any fighting game events I go to? And you're like, what? And here someone has posted to TheDX, I would have never fought. Frame may have forgiven you, but I hope you know there's a part of a community that will never, so long as you don't formally apologize and take accountability for what you've contributed to. Until you do, you better be prepared at any fighting game events you go to. This person is insinuating that if TheDX goes to any fighting game events, he has to take a second to look behind his back and shoulders at all times, because, you know, according to this guy, it's perfectly understandable that someone might attack him, physically attack him. And why? What has FeeDX done? He makes YouTube content about a video game. What I'm wondering is, like, can you imagine some of FeeDX's relatives hearing about this? You know, mom and dad, or siblings, or friends, or I don't know a whole lot about FeeDX, but I know he has a girlfriend. Can you imagine them hearing about stuff like this? Oh, our FeeDX is being threatened. Why? Because he's made content about a video game he likes, and according to some lunatics, he has been too positive about the game. There's been a lot of stuff like this everywhere, and it, of course, does not stop here. He also, for example, higher up here, the Tekken fan base is tearing itself apart, and it's hard for me not to blame the content platforms built around negativity, hate, conjecture, and rumors. If you're wondering why I focus on positive content, it's because this is what happens if you don't. All this for making guides, match analysis, and news updates. So now he's responding to this thing. This shill deserves all the threats that he's getting. I was upset with your takes, FeeDX, because of the influence it had when we were at a tipping point in the game's development, but Tekken 8 is dead to me. I'm a Virtua Fighter player now, and so are a majority of the legacy players in my scene. Breakups over, reap what you sow. You'll get what you fucking deserve. Okay, so here we have the Joker as well. Does absolutely not sound like a fucking lunatic psychopath. You ruined this game, and you doubling down only makes it worse. I'm just wondering here, like, in the minds of these people, what power does FeeDX wield? If we just take a second and look at this, like, objectively with some common sense, you know, level-headed, is FeeDX a developer? Does FeeDX have gigantic influence on what this huge corporation does with their game? FeeDX is a streamer and YouTuber. I'm pretty sure he's not responsible for Season 2 of Tekken 8, but that's just my gut feeling, right? But also, like, these accusations of, like, his toxic positivity and shilling. Like, I'm not gonna get into this whole, like, he's being paid to lie about the game, because that's just, to me, like an absurd conspiracy theory that can only come from people who are mentally unwell, in my opinion. People who they live their lives online, they're very isolated from main society, they have high degrees of general anxiety, they're in a very bad mental headspace, and this can lead to paranoia and a distrust of everything, and reactions like this. They're also very vulnerable to hate campaigns and conspiracy theories. The way I've always seen FeeDX's content, and I've watched some, is that I've never seen this, like, toxic positivity. All I've seen is, you know, a long time ago, he made a video where he said that heat can get very overwhelming in Tekken 8. So, in my opinion, I'm FeeDX. I think that Lee's heat, who we all know is very weak, it's not very potent, that should serve as the blueprint and role model for the other heats in the game. So all these characters who have super overwhelming heat, like Kuma and Kazuya, for example, Xiaoyu, maybe they should come down to resemble more what Lee does in heat. Isn't that a perfectly fair statement? Extremely level-headed, and sort of something we can all agree with. But how is that shilling, or like toxic positivity? And in fact, with Season 2, when the developers say, oh, all of those lows now that used to be heat smashes, they are normal heat moves now. So you get more 50-50 mix-ups. Isn't that the complete opposite of what FeeDX asked for? So even in your wild imagination, which is very poisonous, how is FeeDX responsible for what has happened? The way people talk about FeeDX, I don't even recognize the person we're talking about, because I feel like he's always been level-headed in his criticism. But it seems to me like people hate him because he has enjoyed Tekken 8, as have I. I've enjoyed Tekken 8, but I always had my issues with the game, right? But I feel like with these people, it's like, if you've ever enjoyed it to a certain extent, you are a shill and I hate you. To me, it's like, for those of you who have this opinion, it's like you kind of sort of have to turn the mirror onto yourself and go, why does a video game make me react this way? And if someone is enjoying a video game, why do I have such vitriol towards them? Why am I reacting this way due to an update in a video game? Or if someone likes this video game, why do I hate them? And again, say someone absolutely loves Tekken 8 and even Season 2. They absolutely love it. And they have nothing bad to say about it. What's wrong with that? Are you not allowed to have that opinion? Yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. You know, I find it pretty disturbing, like the levels of accusations I've seen thrown everywhere, and just how people are willing to talk about each other in online discourse. So I'm just going to wrap up this video by saying that FeedX has nothing to be ashamed of. It's quite the contrary. He's created an incredible YouTube channel that has brought a ton of people into the game we love. He's done our community a huge service. He's made some of the best educational content I've ever seen on any video game. He's given us some of the most level-headed criticism of Tekken, like what a great analytical mind. Yeah, sorry for the gigantic amounts of glazing, as you kids say, but that's just how I see it. He has just enriched this community, and we would be, and sorry, I don't want to sound corny, but we would be a lesser community without him. But so that's why it's so disheartening to see all of this pitchfork mob going after him. I just don't even understand what they're going after. But again, I think a conversation has to be had regarding how we, and it is being had, you know, I'm not naive, you know, but like, how do we online discourse, how do we talk online, etc., social media, toxic fanboy culture, you know. Yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about this because it's been disturbing, and it is a minority in the community. There are amazing people in this Tekken community, you know, I've met so many of them. It's just that there is a decent enough chunk that is very vocal, and what I hope personally is that we don't normalize this kind of behavior, because to be honest, the last 2 weeks I've seen just way too much of it online and on streams. I hope we don't normalize this type of behavior, because it's extremely destructive, and it is a cancer, and this is how communities die. But it, of course, also, like, you know, gaming communities can also die due to games turning into garbage, and you know, as I said at the start of this video, very deserved backlash on the developers. Right, and we want to give them constructive criticism. But there's a difference between constructive criticism and just hate. I just wanted to touch upon this a bit here in a video, and I just feel like we could all do better, you know. And, you know, being a Tekken player for 30 years, I absolutely hope that they fix this, because there's no game like Tekken. You know, I'm playing, you know, the patch is kind of bad, but I keep playing Tekken. I still really enjoy it, and I really like Street Fighter 6 as well, which I'm playing now, but even playing Street Fighter, I'm just like, there's no game like Tekken. And even as bad as the Season 2 patch is, there's nothing like Tekken out there, you know. It's, yeah, Tag 2 didn't make me quit Tekken. Season 2 of Tekken 8 is certainly not gonna make me quit Tekken. I survived Tag 2. But that's also a double-edged sword, you know, when you say there's nothing like Tekken out there. Street Fighter can't replace Tekken for me. No other game can replace Tekken. It's so unique. But that's also why it's worth protecting, because there is no game like Tekken. So that's why we hope the developers don't keep over-buffing everyone and remove all defensive nuance Tekken has, because that's the name of the game in Tekken. When someone attacks you, you have multiple options in dealing with it. There's nuance to the counterplay. Yeah, so this was a little bit of a talk here. I just felt I needed to make a video on the topic. But again, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.